All right, guys, welcome to Startup Fika. Today is a digital fika since I'm in Iraq, and I have an Iraqi fika with me. This is called kak, which is basically biscuits and tea. Yeah, and today I have with me Robert, right?
Yeah, Robert Carlsson from Green City Farming, based in Gothenburg.
Yes, lovely. So tell me who you are, what you've done, and what's your story?
My background is in sales. I've been a sales manager for 35 years in all kinds of industries that you can imagine, plus some more. And I like starting creating businesses. So this is actually my seventh startup I have started.
Mm?
So that's a little bit by myself. Yeah.
Nice. And what's the current problem that you've been trying to solve in your industry?
So it started, I was actually eating a lot of salads many years back in the time. For the whole 5 years, every day I changed my lunches to salad lunches. And then you go, to the grocery stores and buy your salads and your toppings. And then you go up early in the morning to make your fresh salad. And after you've been doing that, you start looking into what you're really putting inside your body. And I used to live in Spain for 8 years, and then I get to know how a salad and a fruit should taste. And then what we have here in Sweden is not really the same quality. So I'm looking into how much difference is this, and how good was it for the body. And when I found out, it was a shock basically that most of the salad that I was putting inside my body was up to 90% air. And I thought that could really be that bad. And if it is that bad, why are we not, as consumers and Food Sweden, not screaming about that? Why are we accepting that? That was basically the whole idea that started why I wanted to start this company, because I thought, how hard could it be to grow fruit and salads here locally all year round? It
I
was a
love
little
it.
bit more hard. It was a little bit harder than I expected, but it was solvable. Yeah.
You get fulfillment from it too. Like me myself, whenever I want to get something, I have to go all the way to Willys or Ica or whatever, and then I have to get the fruits, and you're not sure what the quality of it. Everything that's homegrown just tastes better.
Yeah, because it's still, I mean, I would say it's not that we have grown it ourselves. Of course, that has a emotional effect on you when you eat whatever you have been growing, but it's mostly it's freshness. That from harvest to that you put it on the plate. That is what is unfortunately very bad with all imported stuff, because even if it is fresh, like lettuces or herbs, it's still 4 days old before you can get hold of it as a consumer, and closer to 1 week. And before you consume it at your home, maybe another 1 or 2 days. So yes, the quality is really, really bad, unfortunately.
Hmm. And when did you find out that this was a problem? I guess you answered that in Spain. And let's dive a bit deeper into the tech that you've developed. How did you come up with it, and how is it actually solving this problem?
Yeah, so I mean, before I started, I've done my journey as an entrepreneur many times before. Obviously, I went by this the same way. I did a lot of research in the beginning. I ended up in America very quick, and then I looked on every company that I could find that was looking good, on social media. I had a lot of traction, and then I found out that the company after the company after the company went bankrupt. And then I said, okay, it's already hard to start a startup. That is, you have every odds against you basically, but why is it so damn hard, sorry my English, in this industry? Why are everybody failing? And I found out that it was 5-6 years ago, it was much easier to attract money if you did something in the green revolution
Yeah.
or change. So people were more like, let's say, greenwashing, throwing money at you. That is not the
Mm.
case today. And easy come, easy go a little bit was like, I saw that most of the startup who started, they got to know very quickly that the understanding that you need a lot of working force to run a farm, because it's still agriculture.
Mhm.
So how can you solve that? So everybody was thinking, okay, why not buy a lot of robots and automation, and then we will get rid of most of the salaries and those costs. And that
Yeah.
is long term correct. but short term, it's impossible to start with a robot that costs a lot of money, and then you will not get it to operate as you want. It will take you a long time, and when you don't have any revenue, it will eat you up very, very quick. And the problem with that they not only bought robots, they bought industrial graded robots, which is ridiculous for agriculture. So it looked more like a spaceship when you walked into these facilities, and the operational cost was so expensive, and the capex was even horrendous. So the return on investment, is still in the industry is 20 to 30 years down the road, and very few can sell the produce that are producing locally in a vertical farm to the same price range as imported. They have to take a premium price for it. And this is the problem. If you take a premium price, like in a country like Sweden, we have 10 million inhabitants, and you can reach maximum 1 to 3%, it will not be enough to create the business around it. I mean, the revenue is not going to be that big that you will need it to be. Yeah. So that was the problem. So my idea was that, okay, how can I do it differently? So then and until today, it's still, stacked layers that you grow in different kind of shelves. You have different kind of solutions, but that is a system that, according to me, is unscalable industrial scale, because you have so much extra operational cost in that way to grow. So I looked into different ways of doing it, and then I found out that you can have, as we call today in the industry, true vertical, that you have it hanging from the ceiling in pipes or in towers or in walls, whatever you want to call it. So that's the way I focused on. And what we have created so far is that we are able, through our own grow walls that we have created, we can grow much more crops per square meter compared to most of the system, but we don't, with all this unnecessary operational cost, we have gotten rid of them. And it's also much cheaper for me to buy this kind of system, to run it before, during, and after harvest, which keeps also the operational cost even lower. And also, if I compare my system like this, and even if I put the system together with, in the same flow of water, we put the same seeds in the same day, in my system, it will still grow quicker than any other system basically out there. And that is pure revenue in the end of the day. So taking this into consideration, that we can grow quicker, we can grow more crops per square meter with less operational cost, makes us coming out with a lot of problem that other has, that we are not having. And what is the content then? What is the end result that we are, as you say, what have we solved? Because according to me, if you want to have a scalable business, you need to be able to at least grow the same quality that exists on the market. That was not hard to beat. So the quality we are offering, it's definitely much higher. It's also a brand new product that we deliver to the market, because we have, it's pesticides free, and it's very clean. So and it's soilless. So we have the root intact when we deliver our salads through wholesalers. So it's still alive when you receive it as an end client, even if you're a chef in a restaurant or you buy it in a grocery store, and you do harvesting. You do the harvesting when you receive the salad yourself. So I think that is unheard of quality-wise, and of course that creates a totally different shelf life. But the most important thing, we're getting rid of waste, because waste costs a lot of money, and this is one of the biggest issues that I was so surprised that. If we look on lettuces and herbs and things like that, up to 60% of what is grown is thrown away because it goes to waste, which is ridiculous. And we have people starving and looking into different kind of things. It's not functioning, no.
So, I've seen some horror stories of how much being dumped, and people trying to find those nuggets where people are throwing the garbage out to save some money. And there is a solution, right? And I love that you're trying to find that solution or develop it.
But it's always harder, as I said. I mean, anybody can let's say anybody can do the next version or generation of anything and take double the price or whatever. That's very easy to do. But to deliver something that is a little bit better to the same price level than before, then according to me, you have a business. And that's how we looked into this. If I'm going to scale this, I have to sell through wholesalers. I cannot run around to the end clients, and I need to take down the price according to what it is on the market, which is the imported price all year round. So if you can solve those things, you can actually scale your business. So we have been doing that for 5 years now here locally in Gothenburg. And the difference is that every salad that I sell, even if it is a small, production unit, is our R&D center that we are producing today 20,000 lettuces per month, and then we can sell 4,000 of them per week because it's a 5-week cycle. And we are doing that, and have been doing that since 5 years back in the time. But the difference is the margins on our salad. So each and every salad that I sell through a wholesaler, I have 50% margins.
That's really good.
That is unheard of on a global scale, because if you have 5 to 10%, you're super happy.
Well, isn't it also like, if I'm understanding it correctly, isn't it like an IKEA model where you kind of ship the product to the consumer and they kind of do it themselves?
It is. This is what we are looking for. So when I started the company and I looked at how lucrative it was, then I said, okay, you know what? We're going to own all the farms all over the world and just start scaling. So that was the vision when we started with this. And then we talked to more and more investors, and we found out that if we're going to scale really globally and have to do it in a matter of time, as quick as possible, we cannot be the owners, but we have to go into partnerships. So we said, okay, let's switch from being a producer and owner of the farm to be a tech company who allows anybody who's interested to, be self-sufficient or help out the municipality or the city that you live in, to be self-sufficient, but also, food security, to get good quality food to the right price range and not any like exclusive products. Yeah. Even if the quality exclusive, the price should be the right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so interesting that I had no idea how much it goes actually into the pricing model and how much competition there is with, like, how it's regularly used nowadays with the whole farming industry. But what I'm more curious about is how you actually came up with the ideas of the columns that you're planting on. Is it something that you found someone else do, or is it something like kind of innovative that you guys started doing?
No, I was looking into the market because, as I said before, this way I couldn't see how I could scale that. So that forced me into looking into different kind of ways of doing it. And then I found a couple of companies doing this vertical. So I bought them, of course, I tried them, and I thought they were, super expensive. They were leaking water, and that the cost to running and operating those kind of towers was too expensive. That forced me to do my own. So me and my first partner, we set up a new company called Grow Pipes. So with that, we started together with a molding company here in Gothenburg, and we start producing the grow walls. And the grow walls today is like 50 centimeters pieces that you put like Lego together on top of each other, and you can build them as tall as you want, almost. And that, what has that created for us, and what has that solved? So our solution is allowing us to have a leakage-free solution. The cost of producing and for me to buy it, it's much less than any other system, but also operating it before, during, and after harvest is very little required. But most importantly is that with the system, we are getting rid of a lot of operational costs that you have in the other systems, which is where we are beneficial, for any growers, basically. So it forced me into it. We tried what was existing on the market, because the calculation on the traditional, which is still to 99% of the market of growing, it's still in stacked layers. And according to me, I haven't seen a lot of companies who's really earning a lot of money with that.
And that innovation that you kind of created with your own system, did you go like through any legal battles there to try and get it established, or did you like protect your IP in any way, or was it just like, let's go, do more action?
Yeah, so when it comes to the walls, we patented it. So it is a patented solution today. And when it comes to the tech, because in our company, we're a tech company, so we're building the tech and the IP around it, we own 100%. As for instance, we draw the RGB boards ourselves, we put it out for manufacturing. and then we
Mhm.
buy all the components that you need on the RGB board. We lead them together ourselves, and then we code everything ourselves. So we don't have any middlemen that we are paying to develop anything. We develop everything ourselves, and we buy
Mhm.
them directly from the producers. So there is, the cheapest possible price to do it. And
Mhm.
why we know how to do this is because we also, my first tech partner and also my biggest investor, the Techno Creatives, the founders of them in Gothenburg, Emma and Joel Rosada, they are still with us in the journey, and they is quite known as a tech company here, and
Mm.
their CTO is today my CTO and employed by me, but also a co-founder of the company today. But what I want to say with that is that we know how to build tech that is kind of future proof, you can say. Of course, we modify it all the time, but I can bring a prototype very quickly to the market. I can try it out, and I do it for like a tenth or a
Mm.
20th of the price if I will go to any IT company here locally, and they will not know how to do it either.
And since you were in this position where you kind of knew how to create the IP and you had all these people helping you out, would you recommend new startup founders that might be doing something innovative to look at the patent first things?
It depends. We looked for the patent for one reason only, basically, and that was if we're gonna start selling, the farms all over the globe. We don't want anybody to get sued, so they feel
Mm.
secure. That was the reason for us to get the patent, because growing has been going on for generations and
Yeah.
thousands of years. So it's not an invention, and everybody who's a tech company and are trying to protect them with IP, with patent and everything. At the end of the day, it comes down to being a good entrepreneur. How can you set it up, a financial successful, so it is profitable? And that is what
Because
everybody has failed. Yeah.
Yeah, because patents are quite expensive, right? And especially in the beginning of a startup's journey. So, would you recommend someone to prioritize sales first and keep it like as a trade secret, and then moving on and getting the patent once you've secured some sales, or do you just, if you have the money, if you have the backing, get the patent first, and then you can focus all your efforts?
It depends how much money you have and who is backing you, of
Mm.
course. But for all, before everybody, any investor puts in too much money, they want to see traction. And traction for me is always sales. And being a sales manager, for 35 years,
Yeah.
it's always sales number one for me. So that's what we did with our company. We got like traction with clients day one, and then we always have a bigger demand what we could deliver always.
And how did you get your first sale? Because that how long time did it take into the journey, and who was it kind of?
It went quite quick, but I understood that we have to work with wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
So my recipe was that contact a couple of wholesalers, explain for them what we are doing, send them some samples, invite them to our test facility of farm, show them what we're doing so they understand. And the one that we talked with was super thrilled, and then we started with one of them, and that has been our client until today, 5 years back in the time. So a very exciting journey for us. But I mean, I think, in food is always price. You can of course sell a luxurious product, and you can get traction about it, but it will always be that you yeah, it will always be that you end up the wrong way because the clientele is going to be too small. So you need to go and work with, in our case, with the wholesaler.
And looking back, this was what, 5 years ago, you said. How has your strategy changed since then? When
So the strategy was, as I said at the beginning, that we were supposed to scale up this farm to 100% production capacity, and then start another farm and another farm. And now we have said that we have an R&D department of 20% production capacity.
I meant more like how you reach your customer, because maybe before it was like here have these samples. Do you want to kind of work with us? Is it still operating
Well,
the
well,
same way?
we're doing two different things. So going from being a producer, so obviously finding a client to the produce that we are producing, that is through wholesalers. So then you go and sample the wholesalers, and if you want to sell to some end clients because they are neighbors or whatever, you go and give them some samples, and it's quite easy if the price is not there. If the price is here where it should be, then it's easy to, because everybody wants to have something local produced if they can afford it. And then when we're taking down the price to the same level, it's a no-brainer, basically. Yeah?
Yeah.
But when it comes to tech, it's totally different kind of sell. So tech is more like, who is our client in the tech side, which we have now changed to 100%, because the farm itself or the R&D itself is now producing, and soon it will hit break even also. So I mean, that is with a test facility, and that is quite unheard of in the global industry. So going back to tech, then we are looking to, like, for instance, if you imagine yourself like greenhouse constructors. If you think like the biggest ones in Holland, for instance, they have constructions all over the world. Yeah. So the good thing here is that their clients are growers. So for us, that is a perfect partnership that we can do. But we can also do partnerships with clients who said, I'm interested to do what you are doing. Can we partner up in one way or another? It could be like a wholesaler who says, I buy 20,000 lettuce heads or lettuces every week. And I don't know anything about farming. Can you help me out? Of course, we can go into a partnership with that. And that is actually happening in America now, that the grocery stores or the grocery distributors, they are now setting up huge farms because they are scared of two things. It's food security, being available to get the amount that they're looking for, but also the quality they're looking for. Yeah. So that is happening already in the States. So I think that will spread here. It will take, as always, 20 years later, but something like that.
It's Europe for you.
Yeah. So I would say tech clients is partnership through constructing companies in the greenhouse industry for us. But it could be different kind of partnerships, of course. Yeah.
Definitely. And since you're a very experienced sales manager, how do you handle sales in your company? Are you the ones that operating the sales process, or when did you start delegating, if you have?
I haven't started delegated yet, unfortunately, but it's also because we are a quite small amount of people. We are 13 employees at the time. So I'm still doing among sales. I'm doing a lot of other things also, but sales is on my shoulders because I am the most sufficient to do it. But of course, we are looking into already now, how can we delegate? So I have an experience, for instance, here in Gothenburg, we have EUM Business School, and we have sales and marketing high school and things like that. So you can co-work with them, and they have internships for 10 weeks. So that is typically that we're looking to young salespeople who can do the let's say more easy selling, to be more of my legs out there, because of course I am also a hurdle that I cannot run on all the clients that we could get in today if I had the time. So I need to delegate. So this is the one way we are delegating. We also employed a new business developer, and of course he's also handling kind of sales, but more business development overall. Yeah. So we are now in the management. We are now 3 employees, and the rest is the 10 people are in production.
And when do you feel a startup should start looking into delegating sales? Is it like when you feel as a CEO you're focusing way too much on that and not developing, pitching or going to investors or actually working on the product itself?
It's hard to say, because it is like this. You can never afford early stage to employ somebody if you don't have a big amount of money. So if you're going to work with the resources that you have and be resourceful, I would say when you feel that you are the hurdle, not getting the sales that you're looking for, it start to look into delegation. Definitely.
Yeah, that's great advice. So what has been the hardest challenge? I mean, we've talked about this a lot already, the challenges you faced with the rest of the industry the way they are, but what's the biggest learning you've taken away from those challenges?
So I mean, we have to have respect for that. We are, when we are producing, we are a food tech company. So when we did the development and starting scaling, we started to see problems that we didn't have before, by scaling and such, and that it takes, have respect for time, because it takes so much longer time than you get everything up and running, and nothing will be up and running the first time, because you will learn from the mistakes. And I mean, this is a food production, so you know there's always things going on in the production that you don't want to be there, but this is how it is in reality. And of course, with time, you get rid of more and more things, so it is like a smooth sailing ship for every day that goes by. But we are not there yet, so it is a problem, yeah. But I would say that the biggest learning curve is that, yeah, start early with sales. That is important. So you have traction, and have respect that you only have 24 hours, unfortunately, during a day. I would like it to be 48, but it is what it is.
I think all of the founders would feel quite similar.
Everybody has the same kind of story. I would say it's not different for us, but it is hard, and you know, in the beginning you're alone.
But is there an exact like story that you have that, hey, this is, I feel like I learned so much from exactly this one, that you can think back on?
It will be more that, yeah, I mean, as an entrepreneur, when you don't have time, you're not wise enough to sit down and focus. How can I solve this a little bit quicker and easier next time? You just copy and paste exactly what you did before because you just want it done, basically. So that is a stupid way of doing it, but you get shit done, to be honest. But you do it the hard way, because there are, of course, smarter ways of doing that. But that has been my problem, that I have so many things to solve, so I don't have the time to sit down and think of how I should do it next time, because before I have sit down and thought about it, another 10 things have popped up that I need to solve, and that is very, very stressful. So time management, if you want, try to figure out, but it's very hard theoretically, you know, to sit there and focus how you're going to solve things. I have always been like solving the problems when they occurred then and there, and then just go by day, and that is functioning always for me. For sure, we can do it smarter, for sure.
Now wrapping up a little bit, what's the proudest moment that you've experienced so far?
So the proudest moment is, I think in all my startups has been the same, is that you have an idea and then you do the research and then you said, yeah, I can see I can do that. You believe 100% that you will be successful. And then, of course, everybody knows that it takes longer time. But the first day when you employ your first person, because you have already done the journey, that it is success, you can feel the traction, but you need to duplicate or delegate. This is always in every company the first proud moment when you employ the first person, because then you know you have traction, you're there, and then you employ another one and another one,
and then another challenge up comes. How do I teach this new person what to do?
But I will tell you like this, it's which you don't know. I mean, I have 10 people employed in the production. All of them has a disability. Either they don't know the language because they have arrived to Sweden quite early, or they don't have they cannot move as a normal person, or they are burned out of stress, so they need to take it slow, and because of that they work more slowly also than a normal worker. So, but that is quite beautiful. I mean, we can do it because we have good control over the farm. We see what happens. We have good benefits financially also, which allows us to do it. So I think the journey and the development in those people, unfortunately, have been used by other entrepreneurs as a free working force, to see their journey, you know, in see in their eyes that they're getting the life back, basically, the you know, quality of life for sure, but also getting the proudness back, that I am somebody, I and also that they are very involved in our journey. And so, I mean, the good thing with my people, the 10 people in the production, is that I have 2 people who is responsible for them, and they also have a disability, and they are duplicating what I have teach them, and it's really, really functioning.
Lovely. And we hope you'll see Green City Farms in the next 5 years.
So in 5 years, we will have hopefully farms in each and every continent on a global scale. Maybe not that many, but hopefully at least one. And that is the goal, that we should have a lot of farms in different kind of cities, different kind of countries. We support them with tech, key ready farms or part of the farms what they are looking for. So that's how I see, and of course that we have a network of partnerships who is helping us finding more and more clients, because we already know that the demand for what we're doing is horrendous, and geopolitical, how it looks, insecurity of distribution, logistics, and things like that. We need to be more self-reliant or self-sufficient, and we need to make it happen. And I think we really have nailed it, that we have a profitable solution. Now it's just scaling up.
Yeah, I love that. And what do you need right now to start achieving what your goal is in 5 years?
So partnership and funding. Funding is very hard for us because the industry has been hit very hard. That most of the companies have went into bankruptcy. So of course that is what you hear from most of the investors. Yeah, but they didn't make it. Why do you think you should make it, and things like that? And that's the reason we started to produce in reality and set up a real company, yeah, with real numbers. So that's number one. And then also partnership. Partnership is very, very, we don't believe in running, to a country and start selling to farms or farmers ourselves directly. We believe in partnership. So strategical partnership is going to be very, very important for us, yeah. And it's also partnership not only in the food sector. I mean, it is we can grow, hubs for the beer industry. We can do medicinal technical plants for skincare, for perfume, for eating, and things like that. So there's a lot of other products that we can grow. So there is a huge industry. So I hope that in these 5 years, more people understand that it is possible to do, and it's not only in the food sector that we can revolutionize. Yeah.
Lovely. And now I've kind of asked the question that I need answered. What's the question that you wished I would ask you?
I think still a lot of people think that this is so advanced. I mean, in the end of the day, is agriculture. You put the seed in the soil and it starts growing if you give it a little bit love with nutrition and water. And we are doing the same, but we take the soil away from the equation. But otherwise, it's not. So what I hope would be how can we partner up, with, let's say, small farmers who wants to do it small scale or in the smaller scale here, let's say in our city, that we have the big farm that we can co-work with them. So I think that would be the understanding in the human being, that it is not that hard. Start small. We will support you. We have the system. We have the know-how. We have the client and the clientele. So it is possible to roll out. And if we can do it in the city like Gothenburg, when we have salaries that is expensive, rent that is ridiculous high for square meter price, then I think it's achievable in the most places of the world. Yeah.
Definitely. And we've talked about how your life as an entrepreneur is, and you wish there's more hours. And something I'm kind of curious about is, why do you do what you do as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, well, I love creating. From it was easy for me when I grew up to saw that why have not anybody thought about this? Why not anybody doing that? Because there is a demand for it. It was very easy for me when I grew up. I had many ideas to try. So that's what I wanted to do. And then I started my first company, and now it's 7 companies. And I'm just thrilled of having an idea, creating, and after research, of course, creating the idea, make it a reality, and from an idea, creating something that is existing like Green City Farming today. And of course, getting the first employee, that is a tremendous thrill and joy inside yourself. Yeah.
And from what I hear from your voice, that's worth all the sleepless nights and hard work evenings.
I mean, the first 2.5 years, it was 16 days a week, 7 days a week, and it's still 7 days a week, but no 16 hours anymore. So it goes to a better, let's say,
work-life balance.
But everybody has to understand, being an entrepreneur, you're creating, you want to survive with your own salary. And you cannot run the company by yourself if it is not a hobby, of course. But if you want to scale, and like us, we want to create a global company, now you need to do it quicker. And then, of course, with that, the workload will never stop, but you can be better and better in delegating. Yeah.
Definitely. And now wrapping up, what advice would you give to an entrepreneur that's maybe considering entering the industry that you're in, food tech or green tech?
So I think get clients early as we talk. I think that's crucial. That's step number one. I mean, there are clients everywhere. If you start small, go to your nearest coffee shop, cafeteria, go to the local grocery store, and go to your neighbors, talk to them. I mean, it's not that hard that people think. Why should they buy from? Everybody would like to have a local produced salad. I mean, or produced whatever it is, because it is fresh. And with freshness, it tastes totally different. Can you keep the price on a good level so it's not double or triple in price? Then you will start small, and it will cost you much more, of course, running it compared to the revenue. But with that, you can start scaling, and then you start scaling, with 5 cafeterias and 100 neighbors and some grocery stores, and then you start growing. And we can help you there. I mean, especially in Gothenburg, we can help you there. If you have an idea, you want to set up a farm, and come talk to us, and we will be happy to co-work with smaller farmers. They can produce for us. We already have the selling channels, and then they can scale from that, which will be much more easier than for most other ways of doing it. Yeah, but never underestimate. Get your first clients very early before you start. Even better. Yeah,
You need to validate that idea.
Sell them in on the idea what you're about to do. I mean, if you not succeed, you tried at least. Yeah, but if you succeed, you will feel very proud, and you will have your first client.
Yeah, and there's always learning in that. All right, Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking part of Startup Fika. You had great advice and a great story, and I hope you guys enjoyed the digital Fika this time. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
All right, bye.